Good morning, YouTube. Hey, everyone out there in survival land. How you doing? Oh, they're frisky. Oh, look at that. Look at them go. Now, these things ignite really quick. See how quick? I just barely touched that.
Hey YouTube, Freedom for Kaz here. Hey guys, how you doing out there today? It's Monday, it's the start of a new week, and it is November 29th. We've got one more day to go into the month of November. And I know everyone was really scared this month about what could happen, what could possibly happen. I know that there were some predictions for the month of November, and I don't want to say that those predictions didn't come true. But what I do want to say is perhaps maybe the predictions weren't nearly as strong as predicted. There's been a lot of things that have happened this month, and as we all know, everyone who's seen this video can pretty much identify that there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and the frying pan is definitely in the fire. And as far as everything goes, I think pretty much a lot of us are sitting on the edge of our seat, really paying attention to what's going to go on in the Yellow Sea, and not only that, but what's going to go on here at home with the TSA program and a lot of other things that are going on, especially with the holiday rush being right around the corner. Yeah, last night's show on American Freedom News Radio, we were discussing about what's going to happen in North and South Korea, what's going to happen with China, and what's going to happen with Iran and everything that's going on. I don't know if you made the show last night, but it was a pretty good show. I think we got a lot of things accomplished last night. We actually had a three-way phone call last night with myself, Joe Racer, and Mike Freebird. So it was actually a good show. It was really cool. But anyway, getting back to my point, we were talking about an upcoming bank holiday in Europe, and how there might be one in the United States, and in fact, it might even be worldwide. But we even talked about the WikiLeaks. But let's talk about the WikiLeaks. I mean, today there were a lot of things that happened with WikiLeaks, and the information was released. A lot of information was released, and from what I understand, Hillary Clinton is involved in a lot of what's going on. And I know her name is being tossed around in the WikiLeaks, and I know there's a lot of bad things going on with that. But what surprises me, actually doesn't surprise me, but it kind of does, that they want to prosecute WikiLeaks now. Because my point is this: if our government was just straight up and honest as they claim to be, there wouldn't be these problems. And now what's going on is that there was 250,000 classified State Department documents that has outraged Washington officials, and it's absolutely crazy. And there's a lot of information, like Iraq and Afghanistan war documents, and they say, well, it puts American lives in danger. Well, you're damn right it does, and it puts our whole country in danger from possibly being attacked. I mean, our government swears up and down all the time, oh, we're not doing anything illegal, we're not doing this, we're not doing that. But, the minute they turn their back, you look at what's going on. You look at, and you wonder why other countries are very, very angry with us right now. Like China and Russia have stopped using the dollar. Brazil, it's just unbelievable, and a lot of other countries are going to follow suit, and that they are going to. But, in the same instance, our American government, they are running and trying to fix everything and trying to cover up everything more and more. It's like, it's like the analogy we had last night on the show. We were talking about as the United States as being the big bully on the street, and how if you didn't do what the big bully wanted, he either beat you up or threatened you until you decided to do what the big bully on the block wanted to do. Well, for years and years and years, the United States has been that big bully. And if you didn't like our answer, well, we either threatened you, or we attacked you, or we did something like that. It always comes to show that at some point in time, the big bully at some point in time, doesn't always stay the big bully. And America has lost its grip being that big bully, whereas if they just would have been straight and upfront and forward like they tell every honest American citizen to be straightforward, because Lord knows if an American citizen gets out of line, they get beat down and thrown in jail or even worse. And we've seen it. We've seen many people being thrown under the bus. And when it comes to our country and our government, it seems as though those rules don't apply. And I know I'm going to have links underneath as well. And it's just amazing to me how they want to prosecute WikiLeaks as a terrorist group. And all they're doing is what we've been saying all along, and that's presenting the truth. And that's all that they're doing. Well, I want to move on a little bit here. I want to bring out a book that Newt Gingrich and his daughter wrote. It's called The Essential American, and what it is, it's a collaboration of poems and speeches by past presidents and elected officials. And you know, this video was on Hannity, and you know, the video kind of gives you the warm, fuzzy feeling about good old-fashioned America, good old-fashioned our forefathers, and you know what they wanted this country to become. But what's so funny is that the media depicts that, but the media lies to us on a daily basis. And you know, it's just for a few minutes here when they're doing this segment about how they give you this warm fuzzy feeling inside about, oh, United States, we are following our founders' footsteps, and this is what they would want, and it's just so full of crap. It's unbelievable. Honestly, after I watched the video, I just wanted to throw up. So I mean, everything that they say is just a bunch of hogwash. It's just crazy. Now, again, with the TSA program and that's what's going on, I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised. And again, I'm not, because most Americans are still sleeping. But I'm honestly surprised that there's such little outcry. I mean, you don't hear a lot about it. And there's a video underneath that I'm going to put about a foreclosure hearing where a man actually literally stood up and was yelling at the bank owners and the bank lenders about mortgages and how people are losing their homes. And the banks say one thing, like, we want to help, every individual. We want to help people from not losing their home. People, we all know that's the furthest thing from the truth. They don't want to help anything. When I was going through the process of losing my home, I did receive calls, very, very blatant and rude calls, where they were swearing at me, saying, why don't you go out and get a goddamn job, you MF, or get off your lazy ass and do something. It's like, what do they expect us to do? I mean, all the jobs are gone overseas, and they keep on saying that we're gonna create more jobs. You may create jobs, but the jobs that you're creating do not replace the jobs that were lost. And now we're all worried about unemployment. We're worried about the unemployment extensions and what's going to go on with that. I know there's a decision coming up this week about the unemployment and where it's going to go. And we were talking about that last night too. I mean, if people don't get these extensions, what's going to happen? And it's right before Christmas too. And we're talking about a bank possible holiday in December. And, everything the pot is just stirring. So there's going to be links underneath. And there's one thing I just want to close on, and I want to give a shout out to Nibiru Magic 2012. And he actually did a video about this. And if you know Nibiru, he's a great guy. He works very hard, like all of us do. I'm just spotlighting him because he sent me the link. And I want to move it on. And again, I just want to say congratulations to us truthers. Again, right on the mark. We were all complaining about the oil in the Gulf, and here it is. On November 24th, there's some reports coming out that NOAA closes 4,213 square miles of Gulf Coast federal waters off the coast of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama to the Royal Red Shrimping Company. All right, now I want to highlight this here. I saw one part on here, and right here, part of this area, part of the 4,000 miles roughly, 4,200 miles roughly, an area covering 1,041 square miles immediately surrounding the Deepwater Horizon wellhead still remains closed to all commercial and recreational fishing. The fishing area closed was first instituted on May 2nd, at which time it covered about 3% of the Gulf Coast waters. Okay? Well, my point is this. If they at that time they knew that the water was that bad, even in that little area. I mean, come on, people. Are you really that dumb? How stupid do you have to be to know with the amount of oil that pumped into the Gulf of Mexico that none of the food was going to be readily eatable? None of the food was going to be good. Of course, it's going to get into the animals, and that's exactly what it's doing. And right here in the article, they talk about doing studies on the shrimp, and also they're talking about how they're finding oil in the fishing nets, and it's just crazy. You know, it's just, you know, their government, you know, goes down there. Obama goes down there and says, "Oh yeah, look, I'm eating the food," you know, this, that, and the other, you know, and it's just crazy, and it's just a bunch of hogwash. So again, I want to applaud the Truther Group for us doing our great job in trying to bring the truth to the front. So, guys, there's today's video. I want to thank you for you know, paying attention and watching. And again, I want to thank all the new subscribers to my channel. I greatly appreciate the new subscribers, and again, I want to thank you for joining. You guys have a great day. Let's really keep the focus. I think we're doing great, and everyone's getting the word out about what's going on. Let's stay focused all the way to the new year. I honestly don't know what's going to happen, but I think threats across the world have been elevated, and I think you would agree with me on that. So let's just keep the truther activism going. All right? Great job, all the guys, all the girls. Let's have a good week. Hey guys, I just want to add this to the end of my video. It's something I was thinking about, and you know, with this TSA stuff that's going on, you know, we all agree that it's like a conditioning. Like they're getting us used to the fact that we got to be patted down, and they're getting us used to the fact that we got to be scanned, and we got to get used to the fact that essentially we're being called guilty before being proven innocent, because, you know, they're scanning us because essentially, like I said in my previous video, they're considering us terrorists even before we get onto the airplane. But here's my point. My point is this. At what point in time do they pull the wool over our eyes? And I know this sounds a little far, but at what point in time do they pull the wool over our eyes and start sending us to the FEMA camp? I mean, you know, it's not too far off. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's too far-fetched that, you know, we just assume that after we're getting scanned or we're being patted down that we're going to get on that plane. I mean, it wouldn't take much effort for them to put us on that plane and fly us to an undisclosed place that we would have no idea where we are. I mean, is just because our ticket says, okay, we're going to San Francisco or whatever, there's no guarantee that they're going to fly us there. There's no guarantee that that's exactly where that plane is going. I mean, am I reaching on this, or did you ever think about it like that? Did you ever think that once we go through that pat down or that screening process and we get on that plane, are we really going to reach our destination, or are we going to end up at a FEMA camp?